Hey, can't even see who it is. Hey, who is the dude? Who is the dude?
And that right there is why
Davis has been showing lately that he's still a real threat, and his recent training videos prove it. Lamont Roach might be in for a tough time. Tank's been putting in serious work, even more than many fans expected. His body's looking leaner and more athletic, and his speed and power are really standing out, especially when he hits the pads. It's got a lot of people in the boxing world feel.
No one's been able to solve Tank Davis. What do you need to do together with you and your team and obviously your son to score that victory?
We got a game plan. We're going to execute it, and we're going to get the
Move
results.
that head, bob and weave.
Not everyone is convinced by Davis's retirement talk. While he says he's ready to walk away after a few more fights, some people aren't buying it. Floyd Schofield Sr., the father of rising star Floyd Schofield Jr., has a different take. He believes Davis isn't retiring because he's tired of boxing, but because he doesn't want to face Schofield Jr. According to Schofield Sr., Tank privately admitted, "I wouldn't."
He actually took the fight because he know that I'm a dog. And, he want to prove his skills against a dog. So I'm going to show y'all what happens when two dogs get in the ring together. And I'm going to be the...
Tank recently shared a short clip of him hitting the pads, and this time, he looked incredibly fast. So fast, in fact, that some fans started wondering if the video was sped up. But honestly, it's hard to blame them. His punches were lightning quick, each one faster than the last. The video wasn't just about speed. It also showcases precision, technique, and an almost frightening level of confidence. Tank even made it clear with his words, "I'll put them on a flatbed in Harlem Hospital. Yeah, I told them we rumbling. That's not just talk, it's a warning." Roach might want to think twice before facing someone so ready to bring the heat.
It's so easy when he fought Frank Martin.
Frank Martin was inexperienced and nervous. You know, it is what it is. It's going to be a different fight when I'm in there. He's going to be a different fight.
Fans in the comments section were all over it. One person, blown away by the video, said, "That boy is going to hurt something." Another fan joked about Tank wiping out the entire lightweight division, saying, "Let's clear out all these 135 heirs." Some kept it simple with a quick, "He's not playing FR." But the comment that really stood out was Harlem Hospital giving them beds out. It was funny, but it carried a darker truth. A lot of people seriously believe Roach is walking straight into a nightmare.
Being something that he's not been in the ring with. I'm the total package, and honestly, sometimes I think he doubts himself. But I'm a competitor. And
here's the thing about training videos. They always look amazing. The punch don't fight back. Think back to Mike Tyson's training clips before his fight with Jake Paul. He looked like a beast, like the younger version of himself. But when fight night came, reality set in. His age showed, his feet weren't as quick, and his stamina wasn't what it used to be. It's a reminder that what we see in training doesn't always translate to the ring. But Gervonta Davis isn't 58 like Tyson. He's in his prime. Fans have confidence in what they're seeing because Davis has proven over and over that he can back it up. Plus, there's another layer to all of this. Davis recently announced he plans to retire in 2025, and this fight against Roach is the first stop on what he's calling his farewell tour. For Lamont Roach to be the first opponent on this goodbye tour, well, things might get pretty tough for him if this is how Davis is kicking things off. Fans are excited to see what's next. Not everyone is convinced by Davis's retirement talk. While he says he's ready to walk away after a few more fights, some people aren't buying it. Floyd Schofield Sr., the father of rising star Floyd Schofield Jr., has a different take. He believes Davis isn't retiring because he's tired of boxing, but because he doesn't want to face Schofield Jr. According to Schofield Sr., Tank privately admitted, "I would never get in the ring with that." Schofield Sr. didn't stop there. He's been saying for 2 years now that when his son Floyd gets to the level where he's a mandatory challenger, Davis would retire. And now, according to him, that's exactly what's happening. Those are some bold words, and if there's any truth to them, it could change how fans view Davis's retirement. Of course, Davis hasn't responded to these claims. He's focused on preparing for Roach and hinting at a possible fight with Ryan Garcia afterward. Fans are eagerly waiting to find out who his final opponent will be. Will it be another big name, or will Davis surprise everyone with a shocking choice?
And I promise you, you better lead them home. You better lead the females home. On my mother, you better lead the females home and the kids. On my mother.
Yeah,
now watch this.
Now
watch.
They gonna be
now
there.
watch.
Then there's Roach, caught right in the middle of all this. Imagine being the guy who has to face Davis right now. The pressure must be insane. Davis is posting training videos that make him look unstoppable. Fans are predicting Roach's downfall in the comments. And on top of it all, there's the weight of Davis's future fights hanging over everything. Roach isn't just up against Davis. He's fighting the hype, the expectations, and the narrative that's already being written about his loss. But let's not forget, boxing is unpredictable. Davis might look unbeatable, but fights aren't won on pads. They're won in the ring. Maybe Roach surprises everyone. Maybe he lands a punch no one expects. Or maybe, just maybe, Davis really does send him to Harlem Hospital like he promised. Fans won't know until the bell rings. But the anticipation is already through the roof.
I'm gonna beat his ass and y'all talking.
But this isn't the only kind of training Tank's been doing. He recently posted a video of himself tossing a medicine ball around. At first, it might seem simple, but the way he turns it into an intense workout shows just how much effort he puts into his craft. Fans couldn't help but wonder how exercises like this help him build that explosive punching power. One observer joked that his training might be tougher than the opponents, like Tim Bradley aren't afraid to question the narrative surrounding his career. Bradley's accusations of protective custody raise a bigger question that's been following Davis for years. Is he truly fighting the best in his weight class?
The fact that Lamont Roach is as familiar with Tank Davis as he is, it goes beyond them fighting in the amateurs. They've spent time in camp together. He's been around Tank. He's seen Tank up close and personal, whether he's in the ring with him or not.
Lamont Roach might seem like a solid opponent on paper, but he's not the big name fans were hoping to see on Davis's schedule. Bradley and others argue that fights like this don't do much to solidify Tank's legacy. It's hard to ignore the criticism about weight advantages and carefully selected matchups. These comments feed into the narrative that, despite all his talent, Davis is being kept away from the real threats in the division. Clip 11. Of course, not everyone agrees with Bradley. Davis's fans are quick to defend him, pointing to his flawless record and undeniable skill set. It's hard to argue with 30 wins, 28 of them by knockout. Whether his opponents are handpicked or not, you can't fake that kind of power or precision in the ring. But then there are the rumors. Whispers that Davis is planning to retire after just a few more fights. For some, this announcement only adds more complexity to the criticism. If he's really planning a farewell tour, why not face the toughest opponents out there? The idea that he's avoiding a fighter like Floyd Schofield Jr. has only fueled the fire. Schofield's father has openly accused Davis of ducking his son, suggesting that the retirement talk is just a convenient way to avoid the challenge. Whether it's true or not, this narrative only adds to the doubts surrounding Davis's career.
I say 9th round.
What?
I say 9th round.
You said 9?
Yeah.
What's your response to that, Lamont?
Look, he got scared. Look. He looked at 9.
I'm telling you, you saying you going down in a 9?
Inside the boxing world, opinions on Davis are divided. Some see him as an unstoppable force, a fighter who blends raw talent with smart preparation. Others view him as a carefully protected commodity, with a team more focused on preserving his marketability than proving his greatness. As a supposed exit from the sport draws near, The stakes keep rising. Will Davis finally face the big names fans have been waiting for? Or will his career continue to be a mix of brilliance and unanswered questions? Teofimo Lopez's recent comments about Tank have only added more fuel to the fire regarding the ongoing debate about Davis and his legacy. Known for speaking his mind, Lopez made it clear he isn't impressed by Tank's knockout streak. Instead, he questioned the quality of the opponents who've fallen to Davis's power. For Lopez, Tank's knockout run doesn't look as impressive when you take a closer look at the level of competition.
He's been catered more than I've been, and pampered more than I've ever been.
Boxing fans have talked about you and Ryan for a long, long time.
I think more me and Tank will be than Ryan. I like facing the guys that beat the guy rather than the guy that lost to the guy. Ryan just kept literally lunging in and throwing the hooks. I mean, that was...
Has he fought anyone like me? Lopez asked, voicing a point that many in the boxing world share. They're not seasoned fighters. It's a bold claim, but Lopez has the credentials to back it up. As a former undisputed lightweight champion, he's fought and beaten some of the best, including Vasyl Lomachenko in one of the biggest upsets in recent boxing history.
Teofimo?
Yeah.
What you think about Teofimo calling you a fraud for a brilliant?
I just said what I said.
Do you think his demeanor gonna change if he get in front of you?
Yeah.
Lopez's frustration is understandable. He's repeatedly called for a fight with Davis, a matchup that would grab huge attention and could help settle the ongoing questions about Davis's career. But so far, those calls have gone unanswered, leaving Lopez and others wondering why. It's not just Lopez who's taken aim at Davis. Shakur Stevenson, another elite fighter and potential rival, has also been out for competition. It looks good to the public, he said, referring to Davis's highlight reel knockouts, but I'm a fighter. I know what's going on.
We want to see how good Tank is too. Like, we don't really know how good he is.
Biggest spot for you being Tank Davis, I assume?
Yeah, I think so. He just don't seem like...
Stevenson took it a step further, accusing Davis of using weight clauses and other tactics to gain an advantage over his opponents. You're taking less talented fighters and making it look like they're on your level, Stevenson claimed. For someone as accomplished as Stevenson, who prides himself on fighting the best, Davis's approach to matchmaking looks more like a strategy to protect his record than a true pursuit of greatness. Davis's most recent fight against Frank Martin ended in yet another knockout, this time in the 8th round. It was a dominant performance that solidified his reputation as one of boxing's most exciting fighters. But even that victory didn't escape scrutiny. Critics like Lopez and Stevenson argue that while Martin is talented, he's not the kind of opponent who will really test Davis's skills.
I ain't into chasing people around. I mean, if he's willing to fight, I'm ready to fight, and I think it should happen. But I ain't gonna lie, I can't sit there and chase you, and then, you know, he could try to make it seem as though I need him, and I don't need him. So,
as Davis gears up for his upcoming fight against Lamont Roach in March, the criticism is unlikely to quiet down. While Roach is a solid fighter, he's not considered elite. If Davis does retire at the end of the year as he suggested, fights like these could leave his career open to questions about what could have been. And that's at the core of the issue for fighters like Lopez and Stevenson. They see Davis as a talent who could be achieving so much more. Until he fights an elite-level fighter, I don't want to hear nothing from him, Stevenson said.
I mean, if he want to retire with the career that he got, then go ahead and do whatever you got to do. So, I disagree with it. I think it's soft, but that's on him.
Do you still think that fight's possible or not?
At just 30 years old, with an undefeated record and a massive fan base, Davis is at the peak of his career. Walking away now without facing the best of the best would leave many unanswered questions, especially for critics like Lopez, Stevenson, and others. It would also give more fuel to those who question the legitimacy of Davis's legacy. But his supporters see things differently. They argue that his perfect record, with 28 knockouts, speaks for itself. They point to his star power, his ability to sell out arenas, and his dominance in the ring as clear proof that he's one of the best of his generation. For them, the criticism is just noise, the kind that follows any fighter who reaches the top.
And you hope Tank, I know he's announced that he's retiring at the end of 2025. I don't know if you believe that or not, but
I don't know. I thought he was very sincere. I mean, like sometimes the hunt
fed up with, yeah,
maybe, but boxing can do that to you. I think in general. So I think that maybe he wants to do something different with his life.